support Roland Martin Unfiltered, be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
Y'all know what time it is.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, huh?
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
Well, a white woman in Irvine, California got into a traffic stop. Let's just say she rolled up on the wrong sister who had all the time in the world for this Karen.
And you park like an idiot.
You've been reported.
Oh, I already reported you too, baby. Let's see.
So this girl is harassing me. So she's put my life at risk and my child's life at risk. You've been posted all over Temecula Talk.
So have you.
And I wonder...
I put you on Facebook. I got 10,000 followers on TikTok.
I wonder if I was a black woman.
I wonder if I was a black woman. Get the fuck out of my way. Get away from my car. 6 feet.
You better back up.
6 feet.
You better back up.
I got some too.
You better back up.
I got some too.
Someone call 911 right now.
Get away. Get away from my car. 6 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet.
You're
6
done.
feet. Get away from my
so
car.
done.
Help. Help.
You're
Help.
so done.
6 feet.
Call
6
911,
feet.
please.
Get away from my car. Get away from my car.
So she's so going down
God,
right now.
get away from my car.
Hi, I have a lady who has verbally attacked.
Risha, did she throw a color purple root on her?
I love how Sister Girl telling to her inner Karen, help, get away from my car. I told y'all about that pepper spray. Didn't I tell y'all? Keep that pepper spray. Spray them like roaches. 6 feet. Step back. Hello. I told y'all. Sound like somebody listening out there, but I thought, she handled it appropriately, but I hope she got out of Dodge for the police showed up, though.
Right.
That's right.
Right. I mean, I did get a kick out of help. I mean, normally it's the white woman who's screaming.
That's true. That's true. I mean, unfortunately, Reese is right. First of all, that Karen was right. She is threatening her life, but she left 2 words out. Way of life. I am a white woman. So therefore, I should be able to do whatever the hell I want with black people. So, and the sister, I agree with Reese. When she starts saying help, you got to understand what that white woman is counting on is that she can make a phone call and white supremacy will form like Voltron, and here come the same police with the same attitude they treating that brother in North Carolina. They're going to swoop in and go after the sister in the car. And by the way, I didn't see any kind of mask anywhere near that lady's mouth. Right. So at that point, I'd be like, look, this woman threatening my life and the life of everybody else. But shout out to that sister for saying at this moment, I don't care. If we must, well, anyway. It's my
I hear you, Greg. I can't believe I hear you.
You know what I was about to say.
I hear you, Greg. I hear you all the way over here. But her holding up her phone with that little...
Erica, here's my whole deal. Here's my whole deal, okay? This is me. First of all, look, I get it. Folks got the window down. They talking. If that's me, I'm on the inside of the car. This is me.
Right.
Like, I'm not even about to sit here and engage your ignorant ass. I'm going to be like, I'll be sitting here and then I'm going to hit with this here.
Right.
I'm going to laugh at him. That's what I would do.
See,
that's what I would do, Eric.
I appreciate that, Roland, because I think everybody knows the RNU family, the only kind of engagement I'm engaging in are these.
Come on.
That's what people respond to. That's the only type of engagement I got for anybody that rolls up on me. I'm not with the shit. And so her holding up her cell phone, you saw she had the demagogue on it back on it. That told you everything that you needed to know. She's ignorant. She doesn't hear. She's a damn fool. Either pull off or engage right.
But you know, one thing though is that you do have to be careful, because with that video and that audio, you have to present the alternative story. Because these white folks, they sit up there, they're on camera, they're in distress, and they have your license plate, and they show that to the police, and next thing they rolling up on you, you got shots in you. And so I'm not saying that won't necessarily happen, even if you do engage with them. But if they on the phone, you need to be just as loud. That's why it was very smart for her to be like, help, help. I hope she had her mace. I hope she got out of Dodge. But you cannot let these white folks be on the phone, be on camera, and be on with the police, and it's only their voice and their story. You better have your camera out, and you better be loud unless you can get the hell out. If you can get the hell out, go ahead and move on about your business. But you can't let them record you and only get their side of the story out.
Reese, that's so important.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That's so important.
Look, these. Greg, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Ron, please, brother.
No, all I was about to say is that I don't know when these things be going down. They just don't happen to me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, just go ahead. I mean, they really don't. I probably this actually it wasn't anything like this here. And, we've all been mistaken, in stores, but like we worked there. And I remembered I was in Arlington, Texas, at the Dillard's Outlet Mall, and it was a Sunday after church. I was clean. I mean, this was all pre-COVID when we actually wore suits and ties and shoes that required polishing. And I'm sitting there in the store, Greg, and I'm looking at some suits. And this white guy actually yells, excuse me, I need a 42. I said, do my ass look like I work here? I said, look at me. Ain't nobody here with a suit this clean. Do you see anybody working here with this pocket square and tie combination? I said, no way in hell I work here. I said, and while your ass at it, get me a 48.
But see, Ron, I mean, this is the thing though, right, brother? And that's why they text me and ask me, were you out there in that parking lot by yourself? And Reese said again, at any split-second moment, it can all go terribly wrong. And we're laughing in this moment because, as James Baldwin said, I mean, to be black in America is to be in a constant state of rage. But part of that, underneath that rage is a sense of sorrow. But for the African in the West, underneath that sorrow is a sense of hope and joy. So that's why our comedians often become the ones who become prophetic for us. We can laugh about this because we've been there. And we also know, like Erica said, at any moment, it could go wrong. I mean, this woman, Catherine Bryan Donham, still walks the earth in Mississippi. And Matilda, 14 years old, is in there trying to get some candy or coke. Right. He lied on it. Next thing you know, the boy at the bottom of the Tallahatchie River. Philando Castillo, you had his mother on this show. He videotaped his own death with the child in the car. So, at a split second, in that moment, you said, get me a 48. He said, get you no 48 N-word. And at that moment, you might say, I'm going to ignore you, or you might decide in that moment to channel the spirit of our sister Erica and throw them bows. And at the end of the day, we have to decide in that very moment, which is why I said that Claude McKay thing, if we must die, let us nobly die. But for the black person in this country, it can go from laughter to life-threatening in a split second. And that's something any white person, ally, open enemy, will never be able to understand in their soul. That's why people texting me asking, are you all right out there in the dark, brother? Because there's an alchemy afoot in this country. And it can go from laughter to memorial.
Oh, yeah.
In a split second.
It's
time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. This literally came from the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And conservative Justice Brian Haydorn. I just want to read this because it's even Republicans are saying how stupid these folks are. This is what he wrote in his, where they rejected the latest lawsuit. Nonetheless, I feel compelled to share a further observation. Something far more fundamental than the winner of Wisconsin's electoral votes is implicated in this case. At stake, in some measure, is faith in our system of free and fair elections, a feature central to the enduring strength of our constitutional republic. It can be easy to blithely move on to the next case with a petition so obviously lacking, but this is sobering. The relief being sought by the petitioners is the most dramatic invocation of judicial power I have ever seen. Judicial acquiescence to such entreaties built on so flimsy a foundation would do indelible damage to every future election. Once the door is open to judicial invalidation of presidential election results, it will be awfully hard to close that door again. This is a dangerous path we are being asked to tread. The loss of public trust in our constitutional order resulting from the exercise of this kind of judicial power would be incalculable. I do not mean to suggest this court should look the other way no matter what, but if there is a sufficient basis to invalidate an election, it must be established with evidence and arguments commensurate with the scale of the claims and the relief sought. These petitioners have come nowhere close. While the rough and tumble world of electoral politics may be the prism through which many view this litigation, it cannot be so for us. In these hallowed halls, the law must rule. Sam Forward.
Roland, I'm going to have to push back on the thesis of your argument about how laughable and silly and foolish they are. I think this is far more serious than it is something that's comical at all. Trump doesn't expect to invalidate the election. He doesn't expect to win. What he wants to do is to build an army of ignorant believers, and he is succeeding at that. There are people out there. I'm amazed that there were 75 million Americans who thought this guy should be president. Trump keeps talking about getting 75 million votes. That's what he's counting on. And so it is to his advantage to stoke the flames of nullification of an election to keep his supporters charged up. He has raised, $130 million since the election?
No. 170 million there, and they're on their way to 200.
Okay, almost $200 million. He'll have $200 million in the next week. $200 million. And the vast bulk of that money is not going to overturning the election. It's going into some kind of pack that he has created in order to stoke, to sort of be a shadow government against the Biden administration. That's not funny. That is deathly serious and frightening.
No. Let me be real clear. What I am calling laughable are the legal attempts and also the arguments that they are making. Oh, there is no doubt we know exactly what they're trying to do. We clearly know that what they are trying to do is sow seeds of discontent. And then, but see, that's what he has done. Here's the deal. This ain't
But
new.
it doesn't matter.
The reality
It
is
does
this
not-
here. When he started, no. Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. When he started with this whole deal about fake news, it was designed to get his rabid followers to say, we believe nothing any of them say. So what he has done is, for the last 4 years, really, let's go back further, for the last 6 years, what he has done is create a group of people who have no common sense, no knowledge, who are zombies following him. And the problem here, the greater issue, is that the Republican Party, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, and on and on and on, they have allowed this thug to do these things, and because of their naked power grab, have said nothing. And so their lack of institutional control, their lack of morals and values and principles have allowed what it should be crazy, wacky, to become actually the norm.
I totally agree with that. And I think that their arguments in court, they are ridiculous, but they're designed in a ridiculousness like a fox to appeal to those low information supporters that they have. And it's all of this stuff is going to get thrown out in the courts, but his supporters will say, see, that's deep state courts. And there is a response that they have to everything that is done that is contrary to any democratic notion that we have held heretofore. And I think that that's very, very alarming. I think that's what people really need to keep their eye on.
Yeah. But Greg, we talk about this all the time, and what this is absolutely about trying to preserve as long as they can whiteness, trying to control the levers of power. That's why Mitch McConnell did what he did when it came to those federal judges. That's why many of us, we make the argument that a Joe Biden, for all of his talk about being able to work with Republicans, and then after Trump, they're going to return to the way they used to. No, they have made it perfectly clear. This is how they are going to operate in the future. And the fact that Mitch McConnell and most top Republicans still won't even say President-elect Joe Biden is all you need to know about who they are.
That's right. That's right, Roland. Donald Trump will come to Georgia tomorrow, and he will be Donald Trump, as Mustafa said. As you said, he's going to whine. He may mention Loft, or he may not mention Loft. And to Sam's point, it won't matter. The tricky calculus that they have today, and maybe a little slippage with Purdue over the last 24 hours. Did he or did he not acknowledge Biden? This kind of thing. The challenge that both Purdue and Loeffler have now is, how do you stir up those white nationalists to come to the poll when some of those ignorant folks actually believe Trump? That's their problem now. Can they get drug across the finish line? That's why Ossoff and Warnock and that Get Out the Vote operation have to break the back of those white nationalists by turning out the people to vote. So that's one thing. But to Sam's point, and to the point you're making as well, when we think about this, we understand that Donald Trump is not the beginning of Republican gaslighting. Mitch McConnell, that feckless white nationalist, has been gaslighting the entire country for years. He stole a Supreme Court seat in broad daylight. The speeches that Mitch McConnell has been delivering over the last several years sound just like Donald Trump without the sweat and all the permutation. He simply calls daytime night and nighttime day from the floor of the United States Senate. Donald Trump is not a problem for them in the long run, because the Sam's point, if it is not the way they view the world, they will simply ignore. They will simply ignore. Donald Trump didn't introduce anything in American politics. He simply accelerated the inevitable. They are going to fight for whiteness until their death. Many of them are ignorant. Others of them are not. They understand that it doesn't matter, that the law is a fiction, except as interpreted by the courts and enforceable by the rest of the political apparatus once the courts have decided. And what they have demonstrated finally is that if they have the power, a Kyle Rittenhouse can get bail, and a Khalid Browder cannot. A Kyle Rittenhouse can get bail, and the sister who tried to vote and didn't know, she going to jail. In other words, this has nothing to do with truth or morals. This has everything to do with power, and they're going to choose their whiteness over your life and mine, brother. And they're going to do it until we stop them. That's the only thing going. There's no appealing to them, Democrat. You got to break their back.
And that, Mustafa, breaking their backs is because we have to put this in perspective, Mustafa. Not the next 2 years, not the next 4 years, but what we are seeing is that the decisions being made today are going to have a clear and direct impact on our children's children. And folk better be thinking that far down the line when you see the actions happening today. Go ahead.
Well, Brother John Lewis shared with us the vote is precious, the most powerful nonviolent tool we have in our democracy. And if we begin to understand the power that exists inside of that, and we also begin to understand the building of infrastructure for the long term. So that's why I'm excited when we see, this amount of resources finally coming into Georgia. And I hope folks will also build it out in other parts of the South, really begin to invest. Because brothers and sisters were there doing all this hard work, Stacy and Latasha and Brenda and all these other folks, for years getting this infrastructure in place. So for this particular transformational moment, if folks actually get out and vote and get those 50 senators, on the Senate side, and then understand that that's just the first step, that in 2022 and 2024 and 2028, that we got to continue to build until you have enough power that you can actually hopefully right this ship that is America.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. Go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. I really hope that because first of all, Ossoff and Warnock are really campaigning together. I really hope they utilize what took place with this restaurant, Slutty Vegan, as an example of how David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler really don't give a damn about black businesses. So John Ossoff over the weekend, Saturday was supporting small businesses, and so that was called Small Business Saturday, okay? So it was about touting small businesses. So John Ossoff decides to visit a black-owned vegan restaurant in Atlanta. Here's the video of him visiting there. It's called Slutty Vegan. Well, roll the video, please. So here's the deal. He's in line. You see him standing right there. And so he's, long line there. And so supporting small businesses. All right. So the deal is this here. The Perdue campaign, they decide to sit here and, get an attitude. Here's the tweet that they put up. All right. We're going to show you the tweet that they put up attacking Ossoff. Ossoff can have the plant burger. We'll take the all-star special. Pick your side, Georgia. So what are they saying? Like the hell with this black-owned business? Is that what they're saying? Well, let's actually talk to the owners of that particular business. They join us right now, and I'm sure this was not what they were hoping folks would talk about. But guess what? All publicity is a good publicity when you're owning your own business. So, so joining us right now with Slutty Vegan are the two owners who are with us right here, and I'm trying to pull up their names. I'm going to pull it right here. Don't have it there in my prompter. So let me go. Pinky Cole. Pinky, how you doing? Pinky, you there?
I'm here. How are you?
All right, Pinky. So let's just say this was not where you wanted to be. Did you get a sense that what David Perdue in his campaign was saying is the hell with your business, forget a business like yours. We only support places where there's beef trying to attack him. To me, you're attacking a black-owned business. A small business.
The interesting part here is, if you've never been to Slutty Vegan, one thing you're going to hear about Slutty Vegan is we get a lot of support from the community, right? We do a lot in the community, so people really have our back. So when you mess with Slutty Vegan, you mess with the city of Atlanta. So when Perdue said what he said, a lot of people took it personal. A lot of people. We've contributed almost $500,000 in community initiatives through our organization and through the business alone. So we don't just serve burgers and fries. So for Ossoff to come and support a black business that's a pillar in the community, it meant more than him just standing in line saying, I want to get a dance hall queen. It meant I'm going to support a business that uplifts the community and utilizes their resources and their platforms to lead and to bring people up with them. And people didn't like what Perdue said. I actually laughed. I got to be honest. You know why? Because I'm a former television producer, right? So I'm going to take all the press that I can get for my business. And what that did is it provided me a 15% increase in business. So thank you, Perdue. And what he didn't realize is that the people who didn't know anything about Jon Ossoff knew a lot more about him through the avenue of Slutty Vegan. So I'm glad that he was able to get the exposure that he was probably looking for. And I'm glad that Slutty Vegan did too. So, you know, it's a win-win for the both of us.
Well, and in fact, during the, there were 100,000 people in the Atlanta metro area who voted for Biden who skipped the Ossoff-Perdue race. Many people believe that if those folks had actually voted for Ossoff or voted for Biden, Ossoff would have beaten David Perdue in the primary there. And so I've talked to people in Atlanta who said Ossoff really needs to do better to get black folks to know who he is. And so Perdue attacking Ossoff for visiting your restaurant, to your point, and I've heard this from other people, it's ticked a lot of people off in Atlanta, and it has black folks like, oh, now y'all want to mess with the black restaurant. And so when he says, pick your side, Georgia, that's black people clearly are saying, we're going to pick our side, Ossoff over Perdue.
Yeah, listen, the reality of it is this. A lot of people still don't know who Jon Ossoff is, right? He could have won the election last time, but, you know, people weren't familiar with who he is. And let's be honest, right? Getting black people familiar a second go round to even vote for a runoff election is hard enough, right? So what you got to do to get people to pay attention, you got to do it in the most unconventional way. So if it was me, and I like to call myself a hood politician, if I'm going to get people to vote for me, I'm going to go through the most unconventional avenues to get people to, one, know my name, to know what I stand for, and to know what I represent. And it's going to be beyond a campaign because, listen, you got to meet the people where they at. You got to let people know who you are and what you represent. And I think that, you know, I actually commend Jon Ossoff for coming to one of the hottest concepts in the country that so happens to be in Atlanta to do that. So it's like, if Slutty Vegan like you, everybody like you, you good to go. So I think that a lot more people, especially black people, got a lot more familiar with Jon Ossoff over the weekend. And Perdue, I think he should retract his statement because it didn't make him look too good.
This was a photo that Jon Ossoff put on his Twitter feed, the two of you, and he said in his tweet, yeah, y'all, I'm going around Atlanta for hashtag Small Business Saturday. First stop at a Slutty Vegan ATL. As a result of this, of course, the last day to register is Monday there in Georgia. And so do you think that as a result of this, first of all, are y'all doing anything particular in the restaurant when it comes to getting people to register to vote for this runoff on January 5th?
Absolutely. So, you know, we've already started. We've done an initiative with Impossible Foods and Jermaine Dupri. Actually, you were a speaker on one of those events where we got people excited about voting and the voting process.
Oh yeah, one of the virtual events. Yep.
Absolutely. So we were specifically targeting people who weren't interested in voting. And, you know, I got to be honest, prior to me being a business owner, I wasn't into politics, and I'm getting to learn more about politics, but I wanted to use my platform because I know a lot of people watch the business to get people excited about the election. So after Vote Nick, we have still continued to partner with organizations to get people excited. We're actually working on some fundamental organizations so that we can drive more people to the polls. I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements because people already know how serious this election is. This runoff is just as important as the first one, right? We did a rally with Alstuff and Warnock in Clayton County at my second location in Jonesboro, and we had Common come out and support. So literally, whatever I have to do to get people who look like me more interested in this runoff election, I'm willing to do that. So we've never wavered. We've been consistent on that. And, you know, we got people getting registered to vote when they stand in line. We get over 500 people who stand in line every single day to come to Slutty Vegan. So we utilize that to the best of our ability by getting people registered to vote, getting people in queue on what's going on, the issues that are happening in the communities, and getting them to get involved. And that's why we're more than just burgers and fries.
Y'all put out this tweet here. Go to my iPad, please. Y'all tweeted, he's being a fussy hussy. He never had a one-night stand. Georgia, no need to pick a side. All our burgers come with fries.
Absolutely. So here we are with the press and the propaganda, right? Those are the names of our burgers, right? But one thing about Slutty Vegan is we're for everybody, right? Slutty Vegan loves all people. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, yellow, green, Asian, African, it don't matter. One thing we do is we bring the people together in the name of food. And as long as we continue to do that, we got the ear of the people. And when you got the ear of the people, you can get them to do whatever it is that you want to do as long as it is in a positive way. And that's exactly what we've been doing. So, you know, Purdue is still invited to Slutty Vegan. He probably won't come. He'll probably go back to Waffle House. But listen, he can come and have a one-night stand or a fussy hussy any day of the week.
All right, so I got to ask, so is everything at Slutty Vegan vegan? Are the fries actual potatoes, or is it something else that's supposed to be fries?
Listen, every single thing, including the owner, myself, is vegan. Everything we do. Listen, when I created this company in 2018, I was very specific. I wanted people to reimagine food, right? The food that we grew up knowing and loving. So 97% of the people who come to my business are not even vegan. They're meat eaters. So we're able to really open up people's consciousness in a way that they've never seen it before while giving them an experience at the same time. So, Roland, when you come, you don't even got to stand in line. I got you. I'm going to give you a skip of the line pass.
First of all, I got to be assured what actually tastes like. I mean, I got. Look, my frat Lamel McMorris is a super vegan. He took me some spot in Charlotte. He was like, "No, man, this tastes just like a hamburger," and I almost cussed him out. I said, "You trying to lean on the shield way too much." So I got to be assured. So if I come there, because in fact we will be in Atlanta Thursday. We'll be there through Tuesday. Then our crew, we're gonna be in Atlanta 3 to 5 days each week covering this race. So if I come there, what should I get? Because I am absolutely a carnivore. I'm from Texas, born and raised.
When you come, you got to get the one-night stand. But honestly, Roland, bigger than a fool, you're going to be so proud. As a black man, you're going to come to this business, and you're going to see we organized, right? We give good customer service. We give a great customer experience. The food going to be hot and warm, and we're going to make you feel like the most important person in the world. And that's why people love us. That's why we've been able to open up 4 locations in less than 2 years. So you're just going to be impressed all the way around. So it don't matter what you order. If you want to order the receipt on the menu, you're going to be happy.
But you got to tell me what actually tastes like something, because I can't be in your restaurant cussing now like homeboy at the restaurant in Dallas, because, you know, I'm just saying. Now, first of all, when are y'all open?
So we are open Tuesday through Saturday, and the times differ from each location. We're growing super fast.
All right, what's the time? What's the time in Atlanta? What's the time you open?
It depends on what location. You go to the West End, we open from 12 to 7:30. You go to Clayton County, we open from 12 to 9 o'clock. You go to the heart of Atlanta on Edgewood, we open from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. So whatever you in the mood for, we got you. Whatever time you want to get Slutty.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll figure out which one of the locations and which time and I'll go ahead because first of all, it's my show. I ain't got to ask nobody permission. So we'll figure out. You let me know what's the best spot that can accommodate our cameras and lights. And so what we'll do is we'll actually do the show from Slutty Vegan. We'll do the full 2-hour Roland Martin Unfiltered from one of your locations. And I promise. I will eat something. I might have to, because y'all know, I might have to bring me some barbecue sauce, because barbecue sauce.
No, you don't.
Come on, I'm just saying. So we'll see. Candace, Kelly, and Michael, y'all eat anything vegan? Any one of y'all?
Absolutely.
I do. I am not vegan.
Hold on. Pull them up. I need to see who's talking. All right, go ahead. Who was talking? I think Candace first. Go ahead. I think it will hurt you.
I do. I've seen my sister make vegan cheese out of nuts. I've seen the process, not believed in it. And then I ate it, and it tastes good. She's a vegan. We've gone to vegetarian restaurants for Mother's Day and Father's Day. So, yeah, I've got a lot of people in my family trying to twist me over. But that smell of that bacon, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know, it's tough.
Kelly, how about you?
I am not a vegan, but I do eat some vegan food, depending on where you get it from.
Right.
It's delicious. I am very familiar with Slutty Vegan. I'm waiting for them to get a brunch menu for DC.
All right.
I'm waiting.
Michael.
Well, Roland, you know I'm like you. I'm a steakhouse guy. But my sister-in-law is a vegan and has taken me to some very tasty vegan restaurants.
Okay.
Where I had a vegan Reuben, which was excellent.
Well, Pink, I'm the only one who ain't never ate. I ain't nothing vegan. So
we're gonna change your life.
Well, I don't know if y'all about gonna change my life, but we gonna try that. So I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. And so I'll get your contact information. So like I say, when we come to Georgia, we're gonna be there pushing the election, and then we'll do the show from one of your locations.
Roland, can you please make sure the camera's on you when you take a bite of that cheeseburger?
Please. No, duh. Please. That's what we do. Duh. All right, Piggy, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. See you soon.
All right, y'all. Again, that's what happens when you are stuck on stupid. Pull the panel back up. That's what happens when you stuck on stupid. And you're a politician, and you think you taking a shot at somebody, and you don't realize how you really stepped into it. And see, now, Purdue, don't bring your ass to Slutty Vegan, because see, don't even come by, because see, then you're really going to be sitting here being a hypocrite if you try to come by. And so black people all across Georgia, David Perdue took a shot at a black-owned restaurant thinking he was taking a shot at John Ossoff. So guess what we should do? Take a shot and throw his ass out of Washington, D.C. Deadline to register in Georgia is Monday. Pull the graphic up, please. The deadline is Monday. Monday. Okay? Monday. The election is January 5th. Early person in voting starts December 14th. So please do that.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, y'all. In a viral video that folks have been talking about for the last 48 hours, Kevin Kelly, owner of True Kitchen and Cocktails in Dallas, is shown going off on some black women for twerking in his restaurant. Y'all watch this.
I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Okay, a lot of folks have, like I say, have really been commenting on this here. But one of the things is this here. Okay, so go to my. So this is a video from Jamel Hill posted. This is from the restaurant, and so apparently prior to that, Kelly came over several times to ask the women to stop, and so you see him. Now, we don't have the audio here. They did not, you don't have the audio. This is from the restaurant. You see him talking, say, please, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then all of a sudden, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. All right, so he comes to the restaurant. Hold on, I think she had a second post. Now, we just showed you that particular post. But this was before all that took place. Now, we tried to get him on the show, but he did release a 545-word statement addressing the twerking fiasco. In the statement, he clarifies that the rant was inspired by the behavior of women sitting at 3 tables in the restaurant, one of whom was dancing up against the restaurant's glass window. This is what some of the statement reads. A customer stood on her seat, placed her hands against the glass. If we have the statement, please pull it up. Placed her hands against the glass windows and began to twerk. My immediate reaction was this woman could fall through this window and we could be the target of a lawsuit if she is injured. Now, a 545-word statement. If y'all could pull it up, please get it. And then I want to read more of that. Now, so here's the thing so I want to talk with our panel, and I'll start with you, Candace. What was very interesting here is that, and I'm gonna pull up the name of the song, the DJ, because there was a DJ in the restaurant. There's a DJ who's in the restaurant, and that particular DJ was playing a song, and the song is called, let's see here, the song is called "Throw That Ass in a Circle." Okay, that's the name of the song. Okay. Throw that ass in a circle. Now,
I know that song.
Now, the owner. So again, as I break this whole thing down, so here's how this is just rolling. If you're saying to me that 75% of your customers are women, black women, and you don't want things like this here, first you might want to have a discussion with your DJ not to put on "Throw That Ass in a Circle." You might not want to put on "Back That Ass Up" by Juvenile. You might not want to put on "Twerk" by Juicy J. I'm just saying this. So you might want to play certain music first. That's how I want to say that. But the second thing is, do you agree with the people? There are people who are saying that this owner, his tone was wrong. But remember, we only have that video. We don't have the tone, and I think with that surveillance video, I think you can actually see it's a different tone. Clearly, he got pissed off. He had to come back a second or third time.
That's right. See, we saw his last straw. He already had put the straws out there, right?
Yeah, we saw the version when your mama started whooping your ass.
That's right. That's what we saw. And so, in all fairness, we need to know the backstory, and I think that we're seeing pieces of it on the video right now. But as you said, the problem was with the song. He manages the restaurant. He controls what is on there. If he respects Black women all that much, how about songs without cusses? How about songs without saying "get up and shake that ass"? So that was the first and foremost. The other problem was that he had me until he started cussing, because then his point just became a paradox. On the one side, he was saying, look, I respect Black women. This place respects Black women. But then he went and cussed them out. You want to take your argument to a next level. If you're ever in a conversation with a Black woman, say the F word. See where that gets you.
But I think, Kelly, again, we saw that video where he cussed. That surveillance video, again, I think if you look at that video, you can go to my iPad. You can see how he's put. Come on, y'all, go to my iPad. He put his hand together. You see how he's talking. You can take that body language there seems to be. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to see. You see him putting the hands together 3 times in a prayer stance, and you see how I think we can't hear it. But I think with the body language, that's please, blah, blah, blah. Can y'all not do this here? Please. After that, I got to come back. Now y'all done pissed me off. That's clearly, I think, what happened here.
I think so, too. But there's a couple layers to this. So, one, it's a restaurant. If you were at any other restaurant, be it a TGI Fridays or a 5-star Michelin, establishment, there's a certain way that you need to carry yourself in a restaurant. Standing up in a booth to twerk is not one of those pieces of behavior in which you need to act. So I understand his frustration and his anger towards that. However, when he starts talking about, when he said something along the lines of, how can I ask men to respect you if you don't respect yourself? I take issue with that, because my behavior should not be like a man's behavior towards me should not be incumbent necessarily upon what I'm doing. It should just be respect, period. It felt a little bit victim blamey, if that makes any sense. So if you take that notion and you apply it towards any type of abuse or any type of a harassment, and the rationale being, oh, she was wearing a short skirt or she was doing something that I don't like. Well, that had nothing to do with how you treat her. That's on you.
But here's what he said. But here was the statement here. This is the statement. He said, so this is the statement he posted on Instagram. Go to my iPad. He said, while I would like to apologize to the patrons who I offended by my poor choice of wording, I think this full story and a bit of video may help you understanding of the final straw with guests addressed and asked to leave. When the first incident occurred, the guests were politely asked to stop and have respect for themselves and other customers. The guests at issue were at 3 tables. As this video shows, you will see guests spoken to politely and literally begged to stop standing on our furniture and twerking. There are other videos that show much more of the behavior in the following videos, but we do not want to embarrass the guests sitting at those tables. Later, as another video shows, a customer stood on her seat, placed her hands against the glass windows and began to twerk. My immediate reaction was this woman could fall through this window and we could be the target of a lawsuit if she is injured. My second reaction was enough is enough. After already addressing this behavior twice, these customers no longer deserve the courtesy of kindness I expressed in the earlier encounters, as it was met with disrespect and intentionally ignored. This is why they were told to leave. We hope these additional videos will give you a bit more insight into what led to the guests being admonished, but we understand we cannot please everyone. As usual, 97% of our guests yesterday were fantastic. This is an indictment on the very few who don't respect our restaurant. However, we reserve the right to address guests who we believe fall below the standards of the concept created. True Kitchen and Cocktails is a concept created with many months of planning and much more to ensure it is a concept Dallas will love. To date, our plan has worked well, and we are thankful for our guests. Now, that is part one of his particular statement here. And then he had a part two. Let me just see here. We can't. What is this here? What is it? No. Excuse me. No, it is a part two, folks. So he has part one here. Then they posted this, which is actually kind of weird. They posted, after conducting a thorough investigation, we have found that the spices, seasoning, and recipes of food mixed with the magic of our chefs are what makes a few guests want to twerk. We have had numerous discussions on the matter and have agreed that we will not change our spices, seasoning, and recipes or culinary magic. However, we can't allow standing in seats and twerking. Regardless, we do encourage all to come to True Kitchen and Cocktails. Enjoy the music, enjoy the vibe, and be careful when you're eating our tasty food. God bless you all this Tuesday, and smile. Hashtag high level, not eye level. Clearly, they're trying to turn the page here, Michael.
As I think they should, and I don't really have much to add of what Candace and Kelly had to say. I guess he could have handled it. Everything was fine. I agree. He walked over to the table, I think very calmly said, hey, this, please stop this. Came back calmly again. I think when he stood up in the middle of the restaurant and embarrassed the folks that he was trying to have them stop, could have obviously made other people feel uncomfortable about coming back to his restaurant. So I think he could handle it. Now, I was involved in an event where some folks had too much to drink. It was a fundraiser. And they were not acting well or not acting right. So what the organizers did, they asked the person to leave, gave him his check back, so they felt like they weren't being not just asked to leave, but also you kept my money, gave him his check back, so he felt, I guess, respected in that way. And he could have done the same with these ladies. The ladies, look, clearly you're not going to listen to me. Your meal's on me. Whatever you haven't done so far or finished so far, we'll put it in a takeout thing and you can take it with you, but you're going to have to leave.
So
without embarrassing the whole restaurant.
But I want to do this here. Michael. So go to my iPad. This is the first video. They posted all three. Now watch this, y'all. This is a 33-second video. All right, this is the first one. You see how he's explaining.
Nice and calm.
Nice and calm. All right, this is the first video. Okay. So, blah, 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 here you go. And then he said there were 3 tables. So you see him, very calmly, okay? So, now mind you, all right? So he's going to walk away. I'm gonna flip it. So, here we go, okay? So he walks away. Here you go. Now, this is the second video. This is the video where apparently the woman is twerking at the table and her butt is on the glass. And you see him, you're going to see him come out. First of all, you got that one. Then here it is right here. This is when he comes out like, now damn, look, now y'all done pissed me off. Okay, you're going to see him reach his hand out. I need you to step down. I need you to step your little twerking behind down. Then you see him motion, and then you see him motion to everybody else in the restaurant. So now you see all 3 videos. I think right there, Candace, Kelly, and Michael, the third time, my man had gotten pissed off. Now, look, I had to walk over here twice before. Now y'all done pissed me off, and I think he was clearly triggered.
Yes, he was. And, in the time of COVID, he even said, I don't even need your money, right? So we know that he was upset. And as a restaurant owner, he's right, because when it comes to liability, let that glass break on 3 people. And 3 people are bleeding. How long do you think it will take for that to go up online? And then his restaurant will be closed. So I understand his issue. He may have had a wrong approach. And I think that, he came back around full circle to make a little light of it and make it not as heavy. And I think he'll be fine. But I do understand where he's coming from. He would have been the one, and is the one right now, to take all of this because of what somebody else did.
And
but
this and this is the video right here of the woman twerking. Like, y'all, this is the restaurant. And then he walks
Yeah,
over.
it was a mess.
Yeah, and you see he walks over and he's like, "Yeah, you got to get the hell down." And phones and so Kelly, go ahead.
No, frankly, as soon as that happened, I would have escorted them out of the restaurant.
No, that's what's over. Here's what happened. So here's what happened. When she was on the wall, so you see right here, this is her on the wall right here, dancing.
Right.
You're gonna see him stick his hand out. That's when with the other video when he went off, he stuck his hand out. You see it right here. So this is another video apparently that here's a better shot of the folk. This is right here. This is them in the restaurant.
People wouldn't even do that in McDonald's.
So apparently, hold on. Now this is more see. So now we seeing more now see. Okay, so now we trying to turn the whole joint up
into a
right. I think there might be that's it. So there you go, Kelly. Go ahead.
No, again, I
think I might now understand why my man was cussing.
No, for sure. Like her behavior was inappropriate for purposes of that venue. I get that. My issue was his approach in dealing with it. The minute that she started doing something that was not in line with his standards of the restaurant, that should have been the minute that he escorted them out of the restaurant.
No, but Kelly, he gave him a shot.
Address the entire
Kelly, he gave him 3 shots. He gave him 3 shots now. Hold on.
No,
he actually handled it.
What you're saying, I wouldn't have given them 3 shots. That's what I.
Well, but hold on. But the fact that he even did that, he was trying to be respectful. He was like, "Look, can y'all not do this here?" He come back, "Please, can you not do this?" 3rd time, okay, no, hell no. Y'all done pissed me off.
I get that, but again, like Candace was saying earlier about liability, the minute that I see somebody doing something that could possibly be a liability in my place of work that I own, that I am responsible for, I'm not going to have them continuously be in my restaurant be a liability.
But the liability only happened when she put her butt up against the glass window. The 2 previous times he went over, they were just twerking. That's the liability came. He went off when she put her butt up against the glass. That's when he was like, now look, damn it, I done walked over here twice before, and now your butt up against the glass. No, your ass has got to go. So for the people out there, here's the deal. For the people out there who are mad at him saying you shouldn't use that language, let me just be real clear. When you're an owner and you've been nice twice already, now we done crossed the line, now I got to get ignorant. Now, here's the deal. If you as the customer don't get ignorant, I ain't got to get ignorant. So it's always interesting. It's sort of like in the NFL when they penalize the person who they saw throw the second punch, but ignore the person who threw the first punch. Well, hell, you don't throw the first punch, ain't no second punch.
Roland, how long do you think it's going to take for them to put some twerk chicken on the menu? Why?
But matter of fact, somebody in the chat said, oh my God, where in the hell is it? Where in the hell is it? They said, come get this twerk chicken with this jerk chicken. What did somebody say? I was like, but look, hey, look, you got to make lemonade out of lemons, so somebody might as well do it. So we'll see what happens next. All right. Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. These Democrats have been whining and complaining. Those who lost, saying, "Oh, it was defund the police is the reason." Obama weighed in on this on an interview on a Snapchat show. Listen to this.
It's interesting. We take for granted, if you want people to buy your sneakers, that you're going to market it to your audience. If a musician drops a record, there's going to try to reach certain audiences, speaking to folks where they are. It's no different in terms of ideas. If you believe, as I do, that we should be able to reform the criminal justice system so that it's not biased and treats everybody fairly, I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you know you've lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. But if you instead say, let's reform the police department so that everybody's being treated fairly, divert young people from getting into crime, and if there's a homeless guy, maybe we send a mental health worker there instead of an armed unit that could end up resulting in a tragedy. Suddenly, a whole bunch of folks who might not otherwise listen to you are listening to you. So the key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with? And if you want to get something done in a democracy, in a country as big and diverse as ours, then you've got to be able to meet people where they are and play a game of addition and not subtraction.
Well, that piece right there is pissing off lots of people. Mark Lamont Hill is one of those folks. Mark has a new book out that actually speaks to this whole issue of policing. Folks, we have that book cover. Please pull it up. It is We Still Here, Pandemic, Policing, Protest, and Possibility. Mark, I'm going to bring up other guests in a minute, but Mark, I want to talk to you first. I've been seeing comments. Folks are not happy on social media. But the thing that's interesting here is Obama acts like stuff hasn't been done. The reality is, we saw changes made in San Francisco. We've seen changes made in a bunch of different police departments. The folks who have been saying defund the police have actually been achieving wins. What is he talking about?
That's what's so frustrating about this. I understand the president's on book tour and he's, sometimes speaking in sound bites and moving very quickly, but this is imprecise. First of all, I've been part of the prison abolition movement for decades now. This is not a movement that just came out of nowhere. This is not a movement that has not thought about slogans and branding and conversations, but ultimately it's a policy demand. And quite honestly, it's not the most radical policy demand that came out. Defund the police is a very simple call to take resources from one place and invest it in places where we can better use them and where people will be better served, where people's needs will be met. And to your point, Roland, we absolutely have gotten wins. Right? We got wins in Minneapolis. We got wins in Camden. But it's not just about taking money out of police budgets. It's also about reorienting our thinking. And the president makes it seem as if the fundamental problem here is that we simply haven't presented it in a way that is palatable to people, when the truth is many of the people who have been opposing us, whether it's in Ferguson, whether it's in Baltimore, it's people who don't want to defund police. They want to invest in police. They want to support police unions. They want to make police less accountable. This isn't a question of our ability to articulate our vision. This is a question of people not being able to imagine a world where we operate differently. And the president didn't do us any favors with his comments, and he, quite frankly, didn't echo what I think is truthful in this case.
But also, I have yet to see any actual data from these folks who lost, and let's also break down the Democrats who lost. Outside of the two Democrats in Florida, Shalala and Marquez, or whatever her name is, the other folks who lost were in essentially red districts.
Yes.
Now, and so show me in those districts how they're impacted by policing. The places where they're arguing defund the police, which actually does not, and again, the opposition took that, oh, you're trying to say don't fund the cops. No, idiot. This is what it means. So to me, you're sort of playing into your opponent's hands by allowing their narrative to control what you do when in fact, the purpose of the slogan is to push folks as far as they can. And if I push that, and then you say, well, no, we'd rather call it reform. Well, damn, call it whatever you want to call it, but do something.
Do something. And I think your first point is on the money as well, right? Which is that these candidates that were running in red districts, they weren't going to win anyway. And the issue wasn't their failure to distance themselves from Medicare for All or Green New Deal or defunding the police. You know, some people said they were running too close to socialism, the Democratic Party. That's all sore losing Monday morning quarterbacking from people who, quite frankly, didn't get on board with what the people were calling for.
They called individuals who were Second Amendment believers and who were capitalist socialists. Look, the Republicans are going to call you socialist regardless. Look at what's happening right now with Warnock in Atlanta. Oh my God, scary Warnock. Oh my goodness, he hung with Castro and Jeremiah Wright. This whole deal. But Kelly Leffler never mentioned, and we'll get to it later, she never mentioned that she went to his church, Ebenezer, for MLK Day with Johnny Isaacson, the other the Republican who replaced. So they always are going to brand Democrats as radical, left, socialist. And if they didn't use defund the police, they will use the other three-word phrase, Black Lives Matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. And the president is playing into those hands, as you said, by acting as if those are things that we should legitimately be running from. And history doesn't aid that argument either. You know, suffrage now, abolition now, women's rights now. These were phrases these were snappy phrases that didn't make everybody comfortable, but we stayed with them. We stayed the course. We fought for justice. We won. The same thing has to happen here. But instead, there are many people, middle-of-the-road Democrats, who are willing to run from these things. They're willing to run from Black Lives Matter and Medicare for All and Green New Deals. Hell, Joe Biden won the presidency by running from some of that stuff because he wanted to appeal to a certain base. But the election's over. At some point, we have to run on our values. We have to have an affirmative vision of the world and say what we want, not just what we don't want. And saying that we want to defund police is a reasonable argument. And the failure to get it, I'll say it again, is not because people don't understand what we really mean. And it's not because we're not smart enough to just say reform the police, because that ain't what we're calling for. We're calling for something more fundamental here. The problem is that people can't imagine a world without policing in the way that it currently functions. And the problem is that there are many people who are on the other side of the equation who want to see more policing, more quote unquote law and order in the Donald Trump way, who want to see more criminalization of vulnerable people. And until we get at that core issue, instead of gaslighting and blaming people who are calling for justice, we ain't never going to get nowhere.
This also, and let's just call it what it is, this is also about making white people comfortable. This is, can we come up with something that's non-offensive? Okay, no, defund the police. No, can we just say reform the police? Okay, here's my whole deal. Fine. Show me where the phrase reform the police has actually caused them to say, okay, you know what? Now I agree with you.
Right. That's the frustrating part, Roland. They act as if we just started this movement last week. We have been calling for reforms to the police since the moment that policing started. Whether you begin policing with slave patrols, whether you begin it in New England or in Boston in particular, or whether you begin it in the more modern iteration. At every moment where there's been policing, there have been people who have been calling to reform them. And at every moment, there have been people who have pushed back. And in this very specific modern era, from Rodney King forward or from Trayvon Martin forward, we have called for reforms. We've called for citizen review boards. We have called for outside arbiters. We have called for community policing. We have called to demand that police live in the neighborhood. We have called for body cameras. We have called for every kind of reform that you could imagine, and they've never said yes to any of it. So they need to stop acting as if we could only say the word reform instead of these crazy radical demands, that we'd somehow get what we want. We got to ask for what we want if we want to get it.
Mark Hill, he is the author of the book, We Still Here, Pandemic, Policing, Protest, and Possibility. Mark, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Y'all know what time it is.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, huh?
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
Give us your right.
You don't live here. I'm uncomfortable.
All right, y'all. I am constantly laughing at these idiots on Fox News. And they really are some of the dumbest people you've ever seen in your life. And one of the truly dumbest people you've ever witnessed is that fool Sean Hannity. I don't even understand how anybody with a brain can watch Sean Hannity every night. This is what this fool last night actually said. It came out of his mouth on the air. Listen.
We, in this hour, I am not told what to say. I don't vet the information on this program that I give out. We have always been independent, follow our own path on this show. That's not going to change for me ever. We, in this hour, I am not told what to say. I don't vet the information on this program that I give out.
I'm sorry, Candace. Did you just hear this fool say, okay, I just want to make sure that everybody heard that. Y'all, this is somebody, show host, has a radio show. Listen to a 3-letter word that he used.
In this hour, I am not told what to say. I don't vet the information on this program that I give out. We have always been independent.
Candace, I don't vet the information on this show that I give out.
That's the whole point of journalism and why people are on the air, to give information that is the truth. You vet information, you figure out what's right or wrong. So how in the world can he be a talk show host that anybody can trust? He's just admitting that what he is saying at most times is nonsense. He doesn't even check it out. He just reads what's on the prompter, I guess. It just doesn't make any sense, especially for him to be considered a journalist. It makes no sense.
Well, you know, he's tried to say I'm not a journalist. But here's the deal, though. Even if you call yourself a journalist and you're not a journalist, the bottom line here, Michael, I don't vet the information I give out. Meaning, if it's a lie, whatever, I don't check it. We don't run it by nothing. But see, this is no shock, because actually, go to my iPad. Tucker Carlson got sued. The Fox News lawyers, Michael, said, you can't believe the facts Tucker tells you. That was their defense. Yeah, that's Tucker. Don't really believe what he says. That should be the new motto of Fox News. Hey, Fox News, we make shit up.
Now, could he have meant that he does not vet it with upstairs first?
Hell no! No, he said exactly what went on. We know what he meant. I don't vet this.
Of course, that's what he meant. I mean, they're what do they call themselves? Opinion journalists, or they have a term that they use for themselves. And when I say themselves, the nighttime lineup at Fox that gives them coverage that they don't have to pretend to be journalists. that they're just doing editorializing. And so in that case, they don't need facts.
Kelly, this is exactly what the Fox News people said in the lawsuit where Tucker Carlson was accused of making racist and anti-immigrant statements. Quote, the general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not, quote, stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. Okay, final comment. I'm done.
There is a difference between a news show and a newscast. It is rare that you even see a newscast on a national level anymore because that is really relegated to local news now. We are now in a world of informational entertainment, and that may or may not be a good thing. You know, history will see, but Hannity isn't even doing that. He's not even doing informational entertainment. He's doing entertaining information. And that is just false altogether. How do you not vet a source if you're trying to speak the truth? How do you not confirm and double check, triple check? Because this is the only way a lot of people get any information regarding what's going on in this country. So for me, it's kind of like, how dare you even gloat about something like that? You are outright saying that I could be lying to you. I could not be, but whatever. That's insulting to the craft of journalism, right? And media as a whole. It's just wrong.
Well, I'm cracking up laughing, Candace. You couldn't believe what I just read. You like, I know he didn't just read that. That's literally what the Fox lawyers asserted in court. And the judge agreed with him. Like, okay, yeah, they just say he exaggerates, he makes stuff up. Don't concern yourself with facts.
I guess it's just telling us what we already knew, though. I mean, let's be real. If he's saying that he doesn't vet, well, then that just sounds like an admission.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. All right, folks. Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. You talk about mask. Brian Williams of MSNBC said, never forget what the idiots at Fox News, the role that they played in all of this. Ooh, he threw some serious shade at them last night. Watch this.
Last thing before we go tonight, as you watch the following clip, please remember Americans are now dying at the rate of 1 per minute. Please remember we've lost over 270,000 of our brothers and sisters. People who were here with us when the year began, people who will not see another New Year's Eve. Here now, a moment of clarity and awareness that took place on live TV, on the president's favorite morning show, Fox and Friends, and this happened this morning.
Ultimately, right now, what's going on with the pandemic is, and we don't know exactly how many people may have been infected over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, but the number of cases in our hospitals is going through the roof. In 41 states, it's going up. I read a great survey, and they looked at the scientific data in my home state of Kansas. In the month of July, they had a statewide mandate for masks. Now, the problem with Kansas was some counties would actually enforce it and other counties would not. In the counties that enforced the mask mandate, the number of cases of coronavirus actually went way down. And in the counties where they did not enforce the mask mandate, it went way up.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You just have to do it smartly and do it safely.
It means, apparently, masks work.
Apparently, masks work. A breathtaking moment of situational awareness on live television this morning. 10 months, 270,000 lives into this. And this is important. In the rush to a vaccine, in our rush to get life back to normal, to have a spring and summer in 2021 that feel like spring and summer, it's important we never forget who the deniers were. Because those 270,000 mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, husbands and wives, they ain't coming back. So it's incumbent upon all of us to honor their memory. That is our broadcast for this Tuesday evening, along with our thanks for joining us.
All right, Scott, next time you go on Fox News, don't let them forget that they were sitting there telling all these folk not to wear masks.
I'm still trying to get you on Fox.
You know I am not an acceptable Negro.
I'm gonna get you on there, brother.
No. I simply abide by too much James Baldwin. I am not your Negro.
Neither am I. Hey, Roland, one thing for sure. January 5th is Campus Founders Day. That's the Georgia Senate elections. Have me on and wish me a happy Kappa Founders Day on January 5th when we cover the elections. That's the least you can do.
No. That will not happen.
I gotta get my own show.
That simply will not happen. No, it's not gonna happen. Scott, I know you gotta go. Vamoosh, I appreciate it. Unfiltered video is just
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. A woman tweeted this out, and this just shows you, y'all, the kind of nonsense that you see out here with these people. I came across this particular tweet, and it gives you an indication of what happens when you have these stuck on stupid people. And yes, I'm going to call them stuck on stupid, okay, because that's what they are, stuck on stupid. Look at this woman here, okay, Alice Willow. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is a reminder. First of all, drop the lower third, please. This tweet was sent out on November 26th at 2:09 a.m. Let me go ahead and just increase this for y'all. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is a reminder that I am willing to die for my religion. If I get COVID attending Mass, then I'll deal with it. But I'm not missing out on worshiping. You don't get to bar me from my religion because you're scared. Be mad, don't care. Y'all see that timestamp? 2:09 a.m. on Thanksgiving, November 26th. 2 days later. I don't know how to say this casually, but I tested positive for COVID. I really, really appreciate some prayers for my husband and I. He has a pre-existing condition, and I'm really worried about him. Dr. Ebony Hilton is the Associate Professor of Anesthesiology and Critical Care Medicine at the University of Virginia. Ebony, take it away.
I mean, you couldn't cut to me and let me have a moment of silence with that. I mean, honestly, with these people, she said in the beginning, leave me alone, let me be. She was willing to die for it. And what we know is that people are dying from COVID-19. In fact, last month alone, 35,900 Americans died from COVID-19. And what we know is if we're looking at modeling, by mid-January, 20,000 Americans will be dying every week. And if she wants to be in that number, we can continue to do the same game over and over again. COVID-19 has not changed. It's transmitted the same as that way. Our precautions are going to be the same as that thing. And it's very simple. So I don't understand why people are treating it as if it's oppressive for you to simply wear a mask, but it's not oppression. So we need to choose something different, a different struggle, because this is not the one.
So check this out. Ice-T posted this on social media. Same thing. Go to my iPad, please. My father-in-law, Coco's dad, was a serious no-masker. COVID hit him. Pneumonia in both lungs. 40 days in ICU, close to death. Now he's on oxygen indefinitely. Oh, he's a believer now. Hashtag COVID is not a game. And this is a photo of him with that bag. See, again, all these folks, Ebony, they start running their mouths. Oh, it ain't real. And now, pneumonia, both lungs, almost died. Now it's like, oh, damn, this thing is real. Yeah, it's real.
Right. And there's no turnoff valve for this. What we know is that there's these groups of people who we call now long haulers, of where they're having symptoms, not for 1 or 2 weeks, what we typically see with viruses, but it's lasting months and months and months. We've had to transplant at the University of Virginia. We actually had to transplant, give new lungs to a person who was otherwise completely healthy, who contracted this virus. And thank God he's done well with the lung transplant. But what transplantation means that you now have to be on basically chemotherapy to prevent your body from rejecting someone else's body parts for the rest of life. And what we're trying to prevent is anyone else having to go through that same life story, when it can be simply that you just simply wear a mask, wash your hands, stay in your house, and avoid large crowds. That's really not complicated. So I don't know why the struggle is there for people.
And again, look, the reality is, the business that we are in, we are, being in media. I'm going to be traveling to Georgia later this week. We're going to be covering the Georgia Senate race. And look, when we are out there, folks want to roll up and they want to sit here and want to speak. I'm like, hey, back up. I need you to back up. Folks want to come take photos. I'm like, you ain't got no mask on. You can't come near me. And I will shut folk down. I cuss them out. I don't care. You walking around, no mask on. In fact, I was doing an interview the other day and a couple of camera guys, and I'm sitting there answering the guy's question. I literally stopped and I said, mask over your nose too. Then I turned back, finished the interview. And then one of the other camera guys, he walks over to the camera to make an adjustment, and I'm literally in the middle of the answer. Then I go, hey, let me put your mask on right now. What are you thinking? I don't give a damn about the interview. I will shut it down in the middle of an interview.
Honestly, because it literally takes the greatest risk of you getting COVID-19 is the length of time that you're exposed to someone, right? 15 minutes, which may seem like that's a long time, but that's 2 songs playing, right? And I'm seeing all these images of people that are out in clubs and at restaurants and sitting there. How are you eating in a restaurant in an enclosed space in the middle of a pandemic and it not strike fear into your soul, knowing that people, both old and young, babies, literally weeks old, have died from this, old people, rich people, poor people, it doesn't matter. And what, again, we know is that between now and mid-January, we're expecting another 100,000 to 200,000 Americans only to die from this. And my question is, do you want to be in that number? Because your name is not special. And if you want to meet Jesus, that's one way to do it. But I would suggest that we actually take heed of what we already know to be simple things to do, especially in the light of the fact that we have a light at the end of this tunnel with the vaccine here. We just need to hold steady for at least 5 more months, people. We can do this.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.